Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whichever might apply for you. My name is Annika Menefee Skov, born in Guadalajara, Mexico, into a family of 6, but currently live with my 80-year-old grandmother due to reasons too long to fit into a couple of sentences. After 3 years at Prepa Tech, I am now one of the more than 7,000 high school seniors graduating from campuses around the country. I'm 17 going on 18, and as one might imagine, my priorities include my friends and family. Some less obvious things I thoroughly enjoy are binge reading realistic fiction novels, word vomiting my feelings on paper, aka journaling, meditation and Buddhism, horseback riding, most often in the form of charreria, and listening to history and murder mystery podcasts. As for my future, it's all quite unclear. I will either go to college in the US or to Tec de Monterrey, Campus Monterrey. Either way, I applied to engineering biochem programs. I will presumably be studying in that area this coming fall, with the intention of pursuing a career in environmental preservation. In this video, I will present some of the experiences during high school that have honed my abilities, and I will use what is known as competencias formativas to present them. My two chosen developed competencies are trabajo colaborativo and pensamiento crítico. First, I will delve into the first one, which has most notably been developed in two aspects of my academic career. The first through the group SOS, and the second through my participation in several United Nations models, both of which I joined out of pure curiosity and with the sole purpose of learning more about subjects that caught my eye. SOS at first was nothing more than a way to spend some extra time on my hands, but as it caught my interest more and more by showing consistency and reliability, I was named vice president. Maybe I should explain what we do first. The function of the group is to impart emergency first responder training, primarily first aid training, to the Tec de Monterrey community by means of courses. However, we hope to expand the group to provide access for other communities as we continue to grow. Through my role as vice president, it has been essential to success that I'm in constant communication with the rest of the chair, be it collecting data for a spreadsheet or organizing and managing to put together events of upwards of 30 people. Secondly, my skills in working with groups has been developed hugely by my role in Model UN, which I have participated in several times throughout my high school career, currently serving in the historic model as president of the chair for the session relating to the Second Intifada. And before that, in third semester, I participated in Model UN Guadalajara in the Counterterrorism Committee as a delegate. I've participated in other Model UNs, however, I think these two have been the most formative, as they forced me to look into problems that seemed so distant and unimportant to me, but I couldn't have been more wrong. As I looked into these issues, it became distinctly clear to me that these issues were either rampant in Mexico or that Mexico serves to learn from other countries' mistakes and solutions. Then I had to take all these feelings and join other countries to form resolutions that, although they were not always ideal, compromise was needed to come to middle ground with other countries to hypothetically solve some very real issues. These sessions gave me a hint of the way problems must be treated in scenarios outside the classroom. And finally, my latter mentioned competency, pensamiento crítico, I chose because of my robotics and engineering optative, in which we first took a course on design using SolidWorks, but most importantly to me, we took a class on computer programming in Java, which to me simply began as a fun outlet that was to my logical working mind's liking. However, my professor Isaac soon showed me the realities and possibilities of computer intelligence, more so the ethical ramifications of development of technologies such as artificial intelligence and problems in the programming world. That class made me aware and more critical of the way I analyze technology, learning to look at the things I like from all angles, not only the interesting aspects. To all advances in the human race, there is always consequences. Lastly, this competency was developed by my international experience in Dublin, Ireland. Here I took a class on global agenda. Besides making amazing connections with other students, I had the opportunity not only to learn from amazing professors about some of the most important current issues around the globe, but to see firsthand the contrast of culture and politics in Latin America versus Ireland and the rest of Europe. By simply walking through the streets and talking over dinner to our host families, differences between our countries became clear, but so did similarities. Coming back home, it gave me a new perspective on the politics in our country, broadening my horizons, and by doing so, my ability to positively impact and criticize the society we live in. Overall, my experiences and ventures throughout the last few years have been crucial to my growth and stepping stones to what I hope is a successful future in my desired career or any path I take. These experiences allowing me to embark on my future education with the ability to analyze issues that come my way using critical thinking and well-rounded analysis from all sides of the problem to create the best solutions and responses possible, or to successfully use my patience, communication, and organization skills to either follow or lead in a group. Perhaps these situations might arise in my professional environment or in a personal one, but the tools have been presented before me to face them proactively and correctly. Thank you for your time.
Hi, this is Victoria Kelman. I'm the grandmother to Annika Menefee Skov. Annika, I want to say Annika and I have gone through these 3 years at Tech Preparatory. I've gone right along with her and watched her grow and develop, and really I'm feeling so happy and so proud of her, proud for her, that she has really taken her school seriously, and I think she's taken it by storm. She's done a lot of things and seemed to have enjoyed every bit of it. I think this is the toughest time for her, and that's why we are home doing school from home. And I think that this is pretty tough because she really enjoyed her professors, interacting with them personally, her peers, the other students. It's been a wonderful, wonderful joy, and I'm kind of sad for it to end for her, but we move on to adulthood. And some of the things that kind of highlight for me was like in her very first year, she learned to explore various photographic milieus, and for her final photographic presentation, she presented a portfolio of persons experiencing grief, and kind of starred that one of her fellow students to go through the photographic trip with her. So that was very exciting. She also I'm going to the group. Second and third semester, there was a group cooking class. So learning how to be a sous chef, even if it's in your own home, to prepare, to shop, prepare, get things prepared, to cook it, present it, eat it, and then to okay, I'll come back to that. But I think it's what I wanted to say was then to evaluate the whole process. So to evaluate the process. So many things that that she has done and is a part of the school curriculum and a part of her own endeavors to go out. For instance, she does volunteer work. It still does. Well, she still did volunteer work at public schools on Saturdays as a mentor to the grammar school kids. She did a public speech on animal abuse in her third semester, so that's we're really into animals and the care of animals, and Annika, for the most part, is a vegetarian for the most part, and sometimes I do have to sneak in some fish. But animals and animal rights are very dear to us. We do have a dog. She's the chair for the group, the SOS group, which I'm very proud of. As my background is in medicine, and so I'm very proud of her having some cares about that. During her third semester, she and her fellow students had a trip to Guarantaro to study history, architecture, and agriculture. It was a great fun trip, but a great learning experience. And while I'm on trips, even though this is a trip that happened the last semester, it was a trip to Ireland, and all of this. I'm sorry, a fly just almost jumped in my mouth. I'm talking. Anyway, a trip to Ireland, and these are the multicultural students, and so everyone has taken some kind of trip abroad, and whether abroad is to Texas or to China, but some trip abroad. And these students chose Ireland. They came back very happy, very experienced about Ireland, which they knew little about. And I must say, Ireland was brand new for Annika, who has traveled and or lived in 20 countries. So she's pretty knowledgeable about traveling and done some things and really appreciates the culture of other lands and other people. In fact, we've never lived that close to people, but a family of 6, which is more than we have ever lived with. You know, so I'm going to tell you a kind of interesting thing that I remember that they did was a student project, and they kind of worked on the project, you know, right here from our house. And it was building a tomb for Octavius Paz. And they collected all the materials, the paint, they did the sanding, they got the wood, they did the mantle, they did all of the things for this. It was beautiful, and it was such a wonderful teamwork, and that stands out for me doing that. I guess, and then some things that was so important that she was able to do and enjoy, and starting from the 3rd semester, participated as a delegate representing Australia at the Model UN. She's now serves as president of the Model UN. I'm sorry that she can't show off as much because she can't go to any Model UN meetings. But it would be wonderful if she could go in person and not just online. You know, when you do it online, that's one thing. But you like to stand up and people kind of look at you and how you move and so forth. I think that I want to just hit on a couple of things that she's done in math. You know that part of her dream is to be a bioengineer. And so she spent last summer like really going to summer school, and she finished her physics class, and then went to AP Calculus. I'm telling you, like brand new. You know, it was beating her up for a minute, but she really got it, and she really enjoyed it. She's still doing calculus. She enjoys her math. She enjoys everything. And I know she very much misses her time at Tech, that physical time. She really has enjoyed all of her professors. She likes to interact with them. And she's very social, like to see her friends, her classmates. She's moving on. And I'm so happy for her. And I'm so happy for me that we're both moving on. We're going on to other things. Thanks for listening to me. Bye. Too bad you don't know how to edit.